Hey guys, today we're gonna do a lesson on plotting points on a coordinate plane. This lesson is just made for you to get comfortable with using a coordinate plane and plotting points on it, and we're gonna be making a picture by the end of it. For this lesson, you do not need to take notes, just please watch the video, pay attention to how we plot the points, and then how we're going to connect the points as well. In the later lesson, we're going to be learning more about the coordinate plane, but this lesson is just for plotting points. So let's get started. So the first thing we need to know when plotting points is the x and y axis on it. So the x-axis runs horizontally across the middle of the coordinate plane. So over here is our coordinate plane, and then the x-axis runs horizontally. So it runs this way across the plane. It is the thicker black line in the middle, right there. And then the y-axis runs vertically across the middle of the coordinate plane. So it runs up and down. So remember that an easy way to remember horizontal and vertical is horizontal starts with the letter H, and you can easily make that into a horizontal line arrow, and vertical starts with the letter V, and you could easily make that into a vertical line. So that's an easy way to remember which way horizontal and vertical run on our graph. So the next thing we need to know is how to actually plot a coordinate point. So a coordinate point is going to have two different numbers. Usually they're inside parentheses. And the first number is always the x number, and the second number is always the y number. The x number is the number that goes on the x-axis. So whatever the number is, you would then start at that point on the x-axis, and the y is the number that is on the y-axis. And then when you have both those numbers where those two meet, or where those two numbers intersect, is where you're going to put your coordinate point. So let's do an example over here. So the example that we have is 3, 4. So the first number again is the x, so that's on the x-axis at the 3. So that is right here. And I'm going to draw my line going up. You don't have to draw these lines, but it's just to visualize that this is the 3. And then the 4 is going to be green, and that's on the y-axis, so the 4 is right here. And then where those two lines meet, which is right here, is where you would then put your coordinate point. And you could do that with any of the numbers that are on your coordinate graph or coordinate plane. So now we're going to look at drawing a picture. For this example, we're just going to do 2 points, and then the last slide is going to be drawing a picture more. So the first step is you need to plot the first point, or the first coordinate on our graph. So we're going to use the same one from last time, 3, 4. So that's our first one. And then we are going to have a second coordinate point as well, which is going to be at 6, 2. So over 6 here, and then the 2 on the y, and that meets right here. So that's our second one. And when we're making a picture, you need to then connect the first coordinate with the second coordinate with a line. If there is more coordinates, then you would add the next coordinate afterwards and draw another line to that. And if there's more than one shape, you're going to repeat this process for each shape. So now we're going to draw a picture. I find when you're drawing a picture, it's easy when you cross off the ones that you've already done, especially if there's a lot of coordinates in it. So the first thing I want to look at is my first coordinate, which is 0, 6. So I'm starting at 0 on the x-axis and 6 on the y, and I'm going to plot my point right there. I'm going to cross it off. My next one is 2, 3. So I'm going to go over to the 2 on the x-axis and up to the 3 on the y-axis and do my next point there. Cross it off. And then I need to connect those two with a line. Now that I have more than one or more than two coordinates, I need to continue drawing my coordinates and then connecting the new coordinate with the last coordinate that I made. So now I have 5, 3. So I'm going to go over to the 5 on the x-axis, the 3 on the y-axis, and where those two meet, I'm going to make my next coordinate. And then I'm going to connect it with a line and cross off the last one that I did. My next one is 2, 0. So I'm going to 2 on the x, 0 on the y. So my next coordinate is right there. I'm going to cross off that coordinate and connect it with a line. Then I have 3, -4. So on the x-axis, I'm at the 3. On the y-axis, I'm all the way down here at the -4. Where those two meet is right there. Make my coordinate. I'm going to cross it off and connect it with a line. Then I have 0 and -2. So 0 on the x-axis is here in the middle. -2 is right here. So I'm going to connect it, or I'm going to put my coordinate there, cross off the one that I've used, and connect it with a line. I'm guessing you could already figure out what shape we are making. My next coordinate after that is -3, -4. So -3 on the x-axis, -4 on the y-axis is right here. So they meet right there. I'm going to cross it off, connect it with a line. My next one is -2, 0. So I'm going to go to -2 on the x-axis, stay at 0 on the y-axis, and my dot will go there. Cross it off, connect it with a line. The next one after that is -5 and 3. So I'm going to go on the x to the -5, up to the +3, put my dot, connect it with a line, cross off the one I just used. Then I have -2, 3. So I'm going over to the -2, up to the 3, where those two meet. I put my coordinate, cross it off, connect to the line. My last coordinate is the same as my first coordinate. So I'm just going to connect them and cross it off. So on your assignment, you're going to have multiple shapes, and you're going to have to connect them all, and you're going to make a bigger picture. One thing that's on the assignment you have is you might have something that might be, let's say you had -6, 5.5. So you still follow the same thing. So you're going to go over to the -6 here. But then you have to know where 5.5 is, which is going to be in between the 5 and the 6. So it's in between the 5 and the 6 right there. So for that one, my point is going to go from the -6 on the x-axis, where 5.5 would be on the y-axis, and it's going to be in the middle. So on your assignment, you're going to have some that are going to be in the middle as well. If you have any questions, you could send me an email or a message on Schoology or on GoGuardian. And good luck with your assignment.